Hey guys, on today's Let's Review Home Gym Fitness Equipment, we have Ruck Sand Kettlebells. Let's get into the overview, who they're good for, why they're good for, the pros, the cons, and overall thoughts. All right, lay down. Lay down. Okay guys, we have the Ruck Kettlebells. Here I have a 35-pound and a 26-pound. They come in 13-pound, 18-pound, 26-pound, and 35-pound. Those are gonna sell for around $60. They have one more larger one, it's 44 pounds. That's gonna retail at around $70. So these are made of 1000D Cordura nylon, which means they're water resistant, they're highly abrasive resistant, they're easily to clean off dirt and any kind of hardcore terrain you take them through. Every single one of these stitches is made with a double stitch, so they're pretty much bomb proof. The top part where you put the sand in, it has a multi-step closure system. So you will unzip it, and then there's a Velcro, so you'll undo the Velcro, and that Velcro is not easy to get apart. And that has a wide mouth funnel, so you pour the sand in there, and then roll it back down, seal the Velcro, latch it shut, and then zip it again, so the sand isn't gonna get all over the place. The really cool thing about these is, and the material that it's made, is it's gonna hold the shape. As I said, it's gonna be, thanks, Ava. Highly abrasive resistant, so these can sure take a beating. The bottom is made out of ballistic material, so the bottom is gonna be even more super hardcore so that you can put it through the ringer in your workouts. A key feature that I want to point out here is the handles. They're soft, they're nylon, they're thick. One of the things that if you've ever used a metal kettlebell and you've done snatches, they smack the back of your wrist or your bones, and that hurts. Ooh, man, that's like, ugh, that does not feel good. So these are gonna be a lot more body friendly and more kid safe too, right? So kids can use these, they're not gonna bang up their bones. You're not gonna bang up those bones. That's also a positive. For size reference, so this is the 26-pounder and this is a 26-pound kettlebell. So it's definitely going to be a little bit bigger, but of course, the good thing about these is they're adjustable. So you don't have to fill it to 26 pounds. You can fill it to 10 pounds and then 15 pounds and then 18 pounds and then get up to 26 pounds. So these are gonna be adjustable to you. You can put the sand directly in it, or you could get some kind of bag enclosure system so you can progressively overload it. So you could initially say, hey, I only wanna buy one for now. I've never used kettlebells before, so I'm gonna start with this one, fill it with 10 pounds, and then take the bag out, fill it with 5 more pounds, then you're up to 15 pounds, then 20 pounds, then 26. So that's a great thing about these is they're adjustable, whereas the steel ones are not. You can't change the weight. Another really good pro or perk of these is that they're travel friendly. So if you don't put the sand in there directly and you find a durable bag to put inside, you can train with these at home, and then when you travel, take that bag out with the sand or rocks or whatever you have in it, put it in your suitcase, because this by itself isn't gonna weigh much at all. And then when you get to where you're going, have another bag and fill it with rocks or sand or whatever you have while you're there, and still have a training tool. And then here we have the 35-pound and 35-pound. One of the cons then would be that the shape isn't always consistent with sand, whereas the kettlebell, your shape is always gonna be consistent. If you're training for certain exercises where they're technique based, perhaps a steel one would come in better for you, because right, if you're working on technique and not so much about the workout or the function, then these are going to be better for you. But if you're just trying to get a good hardcore workout in and you're not 100% technique focused, because that sand does shift back and forth, I love these. I actually use these in my Ruck events when I host them. I use them at home. I use them with my clients. So I actually do really like these. They, like I said, because they are more soft, they are more forgiving, and they can really take a beating. If someone drops this, it could potentially damage your floor. Or if you drop this on your foot, I mean, that is a really pinpoint weight coming down on a spot. Whereas if you drop this, it's gonna disperse over a larger point. It's not gonna break your floor. So these are better to make mistakes with or slam down. You can't slam this. It's gonna bounce and smack you in your shin. If you slam this, it's not going anywhere. Another key difference for us to discuss is the grip. So this does have a nice nylon padded grip. So it's gonna feel good on your hands. There's gonna be no pinching points. Whereas if you're trying to train grip strength, then perhaps the steel one would be better for you. So this is going to be a little bit harder of a grip, where this one is going to be a bit softer. Next, one of the key differences is that there is going to be a limited top end weight with these. If we're getting over maybe the 100-pound limit, that's where the steel ones are going to have a pro over them, because the 100 pounds, they're gonna keep their shape, they're gonna keep that density right in the middle. Whereas if we get into about over 100 pounds here, it's gonna be more of a kind of a sandbag shape, because it's gonna be very large, and it's not gonna give you that kettlebell feel. So that would be the three key differences between the steel and the sand that you might want to consider. So the shape isn't consistent. So if you're technique focused, the steel one may be for you. There's a limited top end range, which if you want to go over 100 pounds, you're looking at more of a sandbag type of apparatus, or a big like strongman sandbag. And the grip is going to be a little different. So if you're concerned about those three things, those are what you need to kind of weigh out which one's better for you. But let's go into the pros of just these and of themselves. So as I said, the first pro is the weight is adjustable. So you can fill them, you can progressively overload. You can't do that with the other kettlebells. These are body safe and soft, kid friendly, beginner friendly. 2 thumbs up there. They're going to have less damage when you're dropped, and they're going to have that sand is going to add that shift as it moves, which is going to require some more stability from your joints and from your movements. And last but not least, Ruck does have this thing called a lifetime scars guarantee. And what that means is that if you are so hardcore that you manage to wear one of their products out or break it, all you have to do is fill out a form online, and they will either fix it or replace it at their own discretion for free. Like no charge, no receipt needed. So if you can manage to completely obliterate these, you can go ahead and get them replaced at their discretion. So I think that's really cool too. So that's kind of a guarantee of how well these are made. Let me show you some exercises, tell you how they feel. We'll compare and contrast, and then we'll wrap this up and give you my final thoughts. Okay, first exercise, of course, the classic kettlebell swings. So you can see there's a little bit more movement here, especially if you want to do overhead press. Works great. You can still do those shoulder presses, and there's no pinching points or smacking on my joints. You can use these for curls. I actually prefer using these for curls because it's with that weight hanging lower than if it would a dumbbell. It does give a really good pump and stretch. You can always do some deadlifts. Again, one of the key features about using sand kettlebells is that soft body contact. So if you are doing something like a clean, there's no hard smack there. It doesn't hurt. So you can really just focus on the movement, or if you're doing snatches, you can focus on the movement without worrying about kicking yourself with bruises throughout your workout. The options are just as versatile, if not more, using sand versus steel. For me, unless I'm doing exercises that require like strict technique, I prefer sandbag kettlebells, sand kettlebells, just because they are more versatile, they are more drop friendly, they're more resistant, they're softer on my body, and they're honestly really fun to use. Who are these good for? They're good for everyone. I'm a bodybuilder slash runner slash cyclist slash high roxer slash CrossFit athlete slash Olympic lifter slash you name it. And I find purpose and use for this in every single one of the sports I train for. As I said, I do Ruck events, and I bring these because I feel like these are just fun. We can't do slams with the steel kettlebell, and I can do this with that. I can bring these in the dirt. I'm not worried about them getting rusty. They can get wet. They're water resistant. You can't do any of that stuff with steel kettlebells. So I give these a 2 thumbs up. I wanted to share them with you. Thank you for watching. Give me your likes, your comments. Please subscribe because that helps my channel, and let me know what you want to see next. Let me know your questions, and I'll see you guys next time.